Hello and oh, Mom. Okay. Hello and welcome to Master Fan Art Stream. I'm your host and artist with the most, Master Fan, here to do some cool stuff here and do nice pixel art and all the other fantastic stuff. You know, I'm a art generalist, animator, pixel artist, comic artist, illustrator, the works. I am all over the world, and I'm here today on this nice Wednesday afternoon. And today I'm going to be tackling some commissions. I've been working real hard on getting some commissions done before this coming week. Yeah, currently I'm working on someone's Final Fantasy IV character, or at least an icon of their Final Fantasy IV character. And I've been working on that for, I'd say, the past, now it's going on 2 weeks, which unfortunately is slow, I'm thinking, but, you know, I'm letting it go. But, you know, I hope to get it done today. I've got the basic amounts going, then I got a straightforward blink. And I think all that's left is to get the details done with this and then get the feathers done. And then that'll be that. Well, actually, no, we gotta be G over here, but, you know, it is what it is with that. Yeah. Oh yeah, you know, kind of just working on a bunch of different commissions. I've also got this other full body commission that has been dogging me for a bit, trying to get a good, accurate coat flap going, trying to get a better loop of this, because it's okay, but the loop is still kind of crap. Not very happy with it. I want to adjust that before night. Plus, you know, hair is also going to get this loop. So, you know, it's going to be like that. Managed to get a bit of a mustache pull going. It's basic. It's straightforward. And I want the cape going while the mustache is going. So that's basically the gist of what I plan to do. Yeah, hopefully the music's not too loud. I'm kind of just going here chatting, and maybe the music's still too loud. I'll probably just nudge it down just a bit more. More. And that should be plenty. I don't know if my audio is too loud, because it mostly like fills the silence while I'm drawing. And of course my webcam stopped. I love when my webcam stops. But you know what? I'm just gonna have my face just frozen there. That's how it be. I've been spending most of, I'd say, the past hour fighting my tech. I've been trying to get this webcam going. Then, after a bit, I was trying to get the PNG tuber stuff working. That wasn't working. It wasn't reacting to my mic, and it wasn't doing the color key thing. It was always just having the window drive me batty. So, just doing that, dealing with that stuff. But yeah, try to just let this go for a bit. But yeah, so far I'm kind of just been, I think I'm nearly done with most of these streams. I've gotten 2 icon streams plus a full body character that's still not in a good state. Ear wiggle, basic talk done, and then the talk plus the ear wiggle, which the commissioner actually didn't like. So, you know, I kind of just, you know, left that to talk, and that's what I posted online. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty decent. I've never played the game. Not super interested in playing the game because it's not on Switch, I don't think. It probably is on Switch, I just don't. But it never really caught my eye. I'm just not super up to play. Honestly, I'm not super up to playing a lot these days. play Balatro. That's about it. There's another icon where I've basically got a basic blink animation, a nice talk animation, and a talk and blink, a little thing that just combines it all. So I've been pretty happy with this one. It's a little simpler than I was expecting. I think this was the first icon that, I think if I remember right, this was the first icon I finished. And then I moved on to this one. And I kind of skipped out and did some gift art recently. Just some fast 1-bit gift, 1-bit pixel art here. I'm also just noticing that this space ain't shown, so that's me not very happy with that. Also, I'm also streaming on Instagram, which is one of those things where I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I can vert stream. Of course, I can't hear any of the comments, so if you're commenting, sorry, I'm mostly just watching my Twitch comments. So follow me on Twitch if you want 1, full widescreen of my entire setup, and 2, actual, me being able to read your comments. So, yeah, sorry, but I'm not sorry. I'm experimenting with my stream setup, and currently it has been a bit of a hellscape. It's just one of those things where I'm kind of just like, I'm spending so much time fighting my tech. So, right now, I am just getting this done because this weekend I will be at Animating. So, Animating, it's I believe a late summer anime con. I think it's another anime con besides what's it, Anime Midwest. It's a different one, but it's not run by a sex pest, so I'm not gonna deal with that. So honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I go there every once in a while. That should be pretty decent. So, right now, I know it. Feathers, just put the feathers on the portrait. Should be fine, actually. Okay. So feathers looking pretty decent just behind, so I'm pretty happy. So what I can do is go to these default colors. And kind of fill that in. And that should at least be a good filler for that. So yeah, doing a whole bunch of convention stuff in general. I recently did a cake last Saturday, and that was pretty decent. Did a lot of zine stuff. First time delving into zines proper, so that's kind of interesting. Where I'm among other independent artists doing more zines. Yeah, it's more just comics. It's like writing. Oh yeah, it's a lot of like comics, writing, fan stuff. It's pretty interesting. And I was at their first slice table, so that's kind of interesting. Where kind of like one of those preview artists trying to do making their debut. So far, it's been pretty decent. I was really close to the information booth, so more people were asking for information than looking at me for comments. So it's kind of one of those wacky things where it's like, oh man, I should probably let them know that I'm not actually among them, because that'll be confusing for everyone. So that was probably my only, I guess, criticism of the show, is that was way too close to information booth. But honestly, I'm not gonna fret so hard about it. It's basically, I basically got a much cheaper table than I would by default. Plus, I got, basically accepted in general. So I'll take my lumps with that. It is what it is, and I'll just let it go. But yeah, I mean, it's been pretty decent. I met another artist who was also my table partner there, named not Maurice. Bell. Dang it, and I forgot his name. You know what? I'm gonna look at my notes. I'm going to look at my notes because I wrote his name down. I follow him, and I think you should too. In fact, I'm gonna find his profile on Instagram, and you can just follow him. I'm just gonna drop a link. Come on, Instagram, it's taking forever. I love streaming where my internet browser takes forever because I'm using all the internet already. Not logged into Instant. What? You know what? You know what? Fine. I'll find his website because I save his website in my favorites. That's usually something that I tend to do when I also find characters, is that will also save their website. So let's find website. And honestly, that's probably better in general. Just send people to their actual website, because honestly, it's better. His name is Maurice. I didn't forget his name. Well, actually, I probably did forget his name. I don't remember what I said 5 minutes ago. I'm just gonna drop this in my chat, and you can follow Maurice and all of his indie comic stuff. And yeah, he's currently making a Western comic starring a black woman coming face to face with all the the Industrial Revolution and things like that. So that's pretty interesting with that. Yeah, he's currently just writing that as a series. So that's been his comic, and he does a lot of like painting stuff, and we talked a lot about traditional art and the superiority of drawing on paper, yada yada. And our frustrations with figuring out why the hell digital art just is such a pain in the ass sometimes. So it is what it is with that. So I'm gonna be tackling that. Okay. Alright, so make this blank. Yeah, make this blank. So yeah, this has been my personal bugbear for most of this past. I actually haven't been working on black mats because of this, plus more things. And honestly, it is what it's with that. Kind of just working stuff. Adam's also kind of like taking a break from us right now. Celebrate his birthday and stuff. So we're both in a bit of a lull when it comes to, I guess, game dev at the moment. And honestly, it's fine. Obviously, we're busy with our actual lives. Plus, my day job is still, taking precedence. So I can't exactly say, oh, I'm, gonna dedicate my entire life to working on this because I have more important stuff to deal with. So been doing that. It's actually been a quite hot week. Like Monday and yeah, basically just the last 2 days have just been scorching for work and stuff like that, and I've been trying to keep cool, and it's been a bit hectic keeping the order when it comes to getting the students to their homes and stuff like that. So, been dealing with that, and there's also another, tackling that plus, Anime Essential, just the last bits of summer. So, it's gonna be interesting just dealing with that, so. Alright. Maybe this should be first. Then have this. And then the hole for me like another frame. How about that? Alright, maybe like remove 2 frames and add another 2. Okay, that's working. Kinda, sorta. I've enjoyed my beer at the moment. You could see that if my webcam wasn't frozen, but I feel like there should be a bit longer of a pause and let it go. Another 2 frames of pausing, let's go. Okay. And have like 1, 2, 4. Alright. Still need to figure out how to incorporate the blink to the it's figuring out a way to incorporate the blink in this. So I'm pretty sure I could probably figure something. But I think I have the good general. Though I do need to move the hair a bit. Plus her, I feel like the headdress is also kind of like a little lacking. Actually, let's move this up. Oh. Nudge you up. Nudge this up. Because, yeah, the rest's supposed to look like this. So, here's this, this person's character. And, it's supposed to be a, helmet / mask, which is kind of an expressive mask. Tackling that should be fun. Shame I'm not doing a full body, but it is what it is with that. Anywho, let's tackle this. Okay. I would nudge this up. That's probably just one thing that is getting me. That this should be much higher. Gonna do this here. Rework you, and of course I'll need to adjust the mask. Rework a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, good thing I took time to kind of just look at this and realize, this is going slightly against what I need to be doing. So, doing that. Oh, that should be good. There we are. I realize that this is supposed to be a lighter color, so we're gonna tackle. Howdy ho, Zakor, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Pardon my frozen webcam, it just glad it hasn't worked. I haven't caught one of my streams in a decade. Oh yeah. I streamed a bit more sporadically, but I try to at least get one stream a week. Try to just do my best with that. Hit that bell notification and you'll actually know when I'm actually streaming whenever I'm, actually deciding, yes, I want to be on. So, that's been pretty decent. How have you been, Zakor? How's the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, so to speak? Hit the bell, I'll try not to miss your stream. And that's fine. Most of these streams are just for me to get myself to actually sit down and work on art. And most of these streams at least keep me accountable to that, so it is one of those, it's one of those things. But yeah, doing a whole bunch of these streams, it's been pretty decent, I'd say. Yeah, hope life's okay, hope life's been treating you good too. Life's been pretty decent, I'd say. I'm, doing a lot of the con stuff, sticking things up. Of course, it's not as lucrative enough for me to quit my day job, so, still doing the job stuff. I'm still adulting, so it is with that. So I've been tackling that. Plus, just still working on my Black Mass. That's still going on. I've actually been taking a break from Black Mass to tackle some commissions and catch up some bills, so that's basically the MO for, I'd say, the past month, I'd say. This month has kind of been sketchy for me financially, so I'm trying my best to get these commissions done, do as many as I can within this month so I can do that. I'm nearly done with this one, I'd say. This looks alright. Yeah. Pixel art has. I'm getting better and better at pixel art these days. I'd say I'm definitely improving. A lot of my newer pixel art work has been exploring more color palettes and stuff like that. There are some things I do want to tackle more with, I'd say, transparency and working better with CRT stuff. So, been doing that, and taking these pixel art commissions has been, a bit of a help with that. Tackling new ways of coloring, aliasing, getting into details, and tackling stuff like that. Like back in the day, I probably would have never done something like this, where you're doing really tight aliasing. Like, I would have probably never done this unless I was doing some aliasing stuff, so. That actually looks kind of better. Yeah, it's nice. It's a smoother curve now that I'm looking at this. I really like your style of digital art. The last stream I caught was digital painting. Oh, okay. Yeah, digital painting is one of those things where I feel like Pixar has sort of replaced the digital painting sometimes. Uh-oh. Okay. Something's different here. Alright. I think I know what I need to do right now. Find a difference. We're gonna play Find the Difference, Francis. We're basically just going to copy these poses. Okay. Huh. Hey, you gave me advice about painting metal back then. I still follow it to this day. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Painting metal is, I'd say painting metal is probably the easier of, I guess, the rendering because it's pretty straightforward with the high contrast stuff. Doing something softer is slightly harder because you'll sometimes end up either painting something that's rubbery or silky, as like painting, something that's very high contrast and reflective. So it is what it is with that, and I'm figuring out as I go. And I do need to do more digital paintings. It's just I think one personal issue I find with my digital painting stuff is that my workflow for digital painting is not as exceptional as I'd like for it to be. Because I will start digital painting and then I will fall off of it. I'll just not want to work on it some more because it's either taking too long or I get bored of it early. So that's one little thing that I want to improve when it comes to my digital painting is learning how to actually sit down, plan my art in a way where I can break it down to chunks and not, or at least plan my way so I don't get bored. Yeah, rendering gets boring pretty fast. Sometimes, it's one of those things where rendering can either be meditative or tedious, and you never know if you're either, if you're wasting your time or you're following the wrong path with rendering. So I can totally hear you. I totally get it when it comes to not being that motivated when it comes to working on more finished pieces. And that's been my personal, I guess, life gripe when it comes to I want to get really, really, really good at art. Unfortunately, you aren't really setting yourself up to get really good at art, Ryan. Like, you're constantly putting yourself in spots where you don't want to actually work and put in the hard work and effort. And I'm kind of like talking to myself sometimes, where trying to get myself to be motivation lord. So staying motivated with with a project that's kind of boring can be tough. And this pixel art thing is also one of those things. I'm starting to hit the point where I feel like I'm rushing to get it done instead of actually taking my time to work on it. So one thing I've been told that helps is taking breaks. I've been told that just taking more breaks, or at least taking more breaks in general is the best way to increase productivity. You're like, oh, wait a minute, doing less means you're doing more? Well, I mean, that is the truth. You're doing more because you're actually doing stuff, instead of you're spending a lot of time struggling and making repeated lines, instead of stepping away, taking a walk, clearing your brain with clearing your brain from the the fog of life and non-brain stuff. And you'll actually start to realize, oh, I know how I can solve this rendering thing. And then once you go back to your thing, you're able to work on it faster because you actually are able to just go back and hit it. So I understand that. So I'm trying to get myself to incorporate that. Of course, that's easier said than done. Yeah, you are more efficient when you take breaks and then come back to it. I think there's this one YouTube video where he talks about making manga and stuff like that. This Japanese manga artist, and he likens it to running out of MP, or like magic points in an RPG. So he likens it to playing Dragon Quest, and as you're doing a certain phase of art, it's kind of like a dungeon crawl where you're going through the dungeon, you're using your spells, you're doing the layout phase of your art, so you're just drawing the basic thumbnails and stick figures and things like that. And then when you're done with that layout stuff, you've basically run out of MP because you've did a lot of your thinking already, and you realize, oh, I can't think about things anymore because I've already did a lot of thinking. So then you take a break. I mean, that's how it goes. Take a break, and then you'll recharge your MP. And that's basically how he explains how you can stay productive even when a thing totally sucks to work on sometimes. So that's a thing that I want to get myself better at doing, is taking better breaks, being, I guess, efficient when it comes to, or probably not efficient, but more aware of how I spend my time. So that's a billion new arts pro tips I'm trying to teach myself as I go through, just going through most of these things. So that's one of those pro tips where it's not really a pro tip. I'd say it's a life tip, honestly. Like, if you were lifting weights all the time, you wouldn't just be cranking out. You wouldn't be cranking out 2 plates, every rep. If you did that, you would bust your shoulders and your muscles would blow out and you would basically sprain them. So that's why you do rest days and cheat days and taking breaks. Making manga with constant deadlines must be one hell of a marathon. Oh yeah, making deadline. I'd say that's also one of those it's half motivation and half management. I'd say if the guy has a good editor, they're able to put that out no problem. They're able to motivate the artist to actually. They're able to motivate the artist to actually work on their thing. And they're able to work on that much easier than other times. It's kind of a weird. It's not weird, but it's more of a it's a lot of different. Yeah, I guess nuances. I don't know if the word's nuances, but I'm trying to think of a better way to explain that. It's more than just a death march through the entire thing. I know the manga artist who does Delicious in Dungeon, she does her manga, I think, either bi-monthly or it's not a weekly manga schedule like Shonen Jump and things like that. She is much less frequent, and thus she has more time to actually write and edit stuff and make sure things actually make coherent writing sense, as opposed to you're doing some slightly by the seat of your pants writing because you got to make your deadline, and it's very easy to run into a plot hole because you don't even know what's going next because the scope went beyond the initial pitch of the manga. That's why a lot of manga will fall off, or not really fall off, but kind of lose its focus from its initial, I guess. Oh, hey, Gelly. How's it going? That's why a lot of manga... Yeah, it's frozen. That's why a lot of manga has, that's why a lot of manga will, like, lose its focus. Like, honestly, Naruto has been a notable example for me, where it's less about ninjas and more just about superpower. You don't really have a lot of espionage and, like, secret keeping with a lot of later Naruto. Like, the Zabuza stuff end up, like, being pretty interesting because, you know, the, Haku's, like, mirror stuff meant that it was creating a lot of illusions and things like that. And, yeah, that was, that was the initial start, the start of them actually fighting other enemy ninjas, and that's kind of the interesting part about Naruto. And then it kind of, it probably did fall off. I mean, it's weird. Naruto is kind of one of those things where it's like, I want to read more of Naruto because I want to know how it fell off more than just saying, oh, Naruto fell off and it got sucky. Okay, how did it get sucky? I'm interested in knowing that, like the actual, like, where was he going with this and what was he trying to say with this kind of stuff. If I'm going to be at Anime Magic, maybe you'll see the Extra Life booth. I donated some Game Boys for them to the raffle. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's real cool. Yeah, nice to donate some cool Game Boys at the Extra Life raffle. Yeah, I remember when I was reading Naruto as a kid, Masashi Kishimoto had all these letters in between chapters explaining how stressful and tight the deadlines were. Oh yeah. Yeah, they're way tighter than, like, comic deadlines, I'd say. Because, again, Shonen Jump's a weekly manga. So, that stuff comes out every week. Because, it's a published print run. So, I think the one advantage manga does have when it comes to that is it's in black and white. So you don't have to spend time on a colorist. So, that's one little advantage, but I feel like that's also, I feel like that's probably just so minor. I mean, sure, they're saving money on printing, but I feel like it's still not enough to really go through that. I don't know. I've never been a manga artist, so I can't. I'm being armchair editor right now. Like, I've never even been a comic artist, like an actual work in a publisher type comic artist. I've tried, but I haven't actually gone in, which that's one of those things where I will constantly crap on myself about, but it is what it is. I'll try to get in with other things when I'm working on non-specific projects. Like, currently I'm a game developer, so I'm going to be making that focus on just doing more game development stuff. So I guess that's my current focus, is learning the ins and outs of making the video games. So that's kind of just been me doing it. But I will admit that I do miss making comics, especially when I was at Cake at that Zine Fest. I'm like, man, people are actually making cool comics, and they're like actually printing them. I'm like, I should at least learn how to get a story out. So that's kind of just one of those things where I look wistfully at the greener grass. Don't beat yourself over it. Eventually something will work. Yeah. Thanks. That's one of those things where, I do need to be patient about these things, especially when it comes to game development, because at the end of the day, I can't just develop faster. I still need to do the work. Like, I can't just magically draw. Well, I think these days they're trying to be like, oh yes, magically drawing these days, making fucking AI prompt shit, and I'm fuck, dude. A sprite art comic would be sick, and I can only remember a handful of them. Yeah, actually, that's interesting. Like, I remember sprite art comics because I remember, those old comics like neglected Mario characters and what's it, Sonic Chaos or something like that, where it has like a bunch of, it's a bunch of like Sonic sprite comics in 8-bit theater and stuff like that. Like, those were notable in like 2006 internet. No, not 2006. It was like early internet stuff, and yeah. What would a modern day sprite comic look like in cyber year 2024, Yeah, the ones that aren't just recolored game comics, Zelda comic and stuff. Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, but still, it's like, yeah, I remember reading a lot of those old sprite comics where it's like, you're seeing a sprite that's like, it's a recolored sprite of Zero's Mega Man. I think it was his Mega Man Zero sprite, but it's modified to look like Link. It's one of those less funny little. Well, it's not funny. It's it's fan art stuff. But that was how most comics were, where you took a default game comic and then it was modified so it looks like actual existing. Looks like a different character. Like, a lot of people tend to dunk on that one Mega Man comic, that one I guess sprite meme where it's like, oh, this is what people thought Mega Man sprite art looked like, and they're just variants of Mega Man, but they're the heads are swapped, but they're just Mega Man. When really when the actual Mega Man sprites had very distinct looking sprites with that, because the Robot Masters were distinct. There were 8 Robot Masters. So that's kind of just one of those interesting things. Yeah, Brandon James Greer did a pixel art experiment like that. He made a video about it. I probably should see it. I probably have seen it, but I don't remember it, so I should see it. But yeah, I do have the assets where I could recolor a lot of Cole sprites and then set up and since I'm an artist myself, whatever new sprites I would need, I could just add them in, and it wouldn't be that much of a problem. It's pretty fun. That I would consider that, actually. Plus it would make a giant difference with like zoom and stuff like that. Like, I would have high fidelity sprites plus a small sprite, so you have like interesting dramatic moments or action moments. Also, you remember, there was also like sprite animations too, like Super Mario Bros. Z and things like that, where you had really cool sprite animations, and they were elaborate choreographed fight scenes. I'm like, I could probably do that too. Why don't I do that in my own cutscenes? Why not? Well, one, it would be fucking hard work, of course, but, I could probably do it. This is cyber year 2024. I could make really cool pixel art these days. I don't have to worry about tech limits, really. This work? No. But yeah, it's like, you could do that stuff for the cutscenes, export them as, like, either MP4 files or GIF files. I'd have to talk to Adam about this more, but you would probably have them as pre-rendered cutscenes. Then that would be how it works. Yeah, I'd love to see it printed with crisp pixelated. Oh yeah, that's another one that I'm interested in doing as another comic zine, is like a sprite zine. I recently picked up Final Fantasy, so I got this art book that's of the all the Final Fantasy pixel art, and I got that a while ago, probably like 2 years ago, and Yeah, that's pretty. It's pretty nice because it has obviously it was aligned with the pixel remasters of Final Fantasy VI, or the pixel remasters of the Final Fantasy collection. So it showed all the sprites that it did with that. So, okay. No. Yeah, hide the portrait, figure it out. Yeah. Okay. I know what to do. I'm nearly done, I'd say. Then you do that. Color these front ones. That should be good. Oh yeah, doing a modern day sprite webcomic would be interesting. Well, obviously, the gimmick would probably work out if you didn't figure out a good way to do, you do the premise well. So it probably should be typical gamer humor, of course. Speaking of that, when's the last time I've heard a gamer webcomic? I know Penny Arcade's still going, but I remember there was a glut of gaming webcomics. Just webcomics about game news and stuff like that. I mean, obviously it probably was replaced by videos. I'm talking Control Alt Delete. People dunk on Control Alt Delete, but it's I think Control Alt Delete's still going. It's there's Control Alt Delete, Penny Arcade. What other gaming webcomics do I remember? Apple Geeks? Okay, now I'm kind of super curious. Let's see. So I'm kind of just in a weird tangent where I'm looking up, seeing what webcomics are still going. Let's see. Apple Geeks, what's the last time this updated? 2010. Okay. So it's been a while. The Haunting. Yeah, 2010 is the last time Apple Geeks updated. Let's see. 8-Bit Theater. I think the author of 8-Bit Theater is working on Atomic Robo right now. He's the writer of Atomic Robo. 8-Bit Theater is still finished. Okay. And has normal art. I think it was an epilogue thing. Probably just skip out on this. When was the last time this updated? No dates. Let's see. 2024 of March. Okay. 20th Anniversary Complete Script Book Do Not Sue Edition. Oh, that's funny. Ooh, a 9-pound book. That's gonna be hell to ship. But still, 8-Bit Theater and stuff like that. I remember reading that back in the day. I wonder if VG Cats is still going. That's different. Yeah, the website's completely different. Okay. Alright, so there's still actual current day art. Let's see what's going on. Oh, okay. This is a newer one. Oh, the new Shovel Knight one. That's pretty nice. Let's see. Oh, okay. Animal Crossing 2023, so he is definitely not updating it too long. Let's see. Whitchurch, let's see. Which church webtoon? Let's see. Okay. It's on webtoons. Ah, okay. That's interesting. I should follow this. I'm not logged in. You know what? I'll put this in my faves and do it that with church. Now let's look at the first episode and see how that's going. Okay, so it's actual full-on actual pixel art. That's sick, though. This looks sick, and it's probably not like making GIFs because that's still way too much effort. Motion comics are interesting because on the one hand, it can make things more interesting looking, but on the other hand, it's still a lot of hard work for very little. I remember the bits of times I saw Homestuck. They had like little animated segments and GIFs and stuff like that. But when you actually publish it in a book, probably you don't see that. Man, I kind of wish I read Homestuck as it was going, because I feel like Homestuck is probably the best example of a web comic, like a comic on the internet, utilizing the web. Like, I remember Scott McCloud talked about the potential of the web and comics in that infinite canvas and stuff like that. And I feel like Homestuck was one of those comics that actually lived up to that. And I can barely think of other comics that really do that beyond. Let's see. What other comics would really do that? I guess some webtoons, I think the initial Korean webtoon where it uses HTML to force your screen to scroll and basically does a jump scare on you. You probably know that one Korean webtoon where it showed, it did that Chiller. I think that's what it was called. And yeah, it's one of those things where it does utilize the strengths of a comic being online and doing just the online stuff. So yeah, they also had audio sync with the scroll. It could also make your phone vibrate on man, that's interesting. That almost gave me a heart attack the first time. That's rad. And that kind of stuff is mind-blowing at the time. And I don't even think a lot of modern webtoons really do that. Have any modern webtoons done stuff like that? Because I can't think of any other modern webtoons that really do that. And I can understand why. It takes a lot of effort to draw it in general, so I'm not gonna fault them too hard about it. It's one of those things where the craft and artistry was coming. It was one of those things where you're seeing the future potential of new arts and all that yada yada stuff, and then webtoon just ends up being this very shady publisher sometimes where end up screwing over creators sometimes. And webtoon is a whole bag of worms that I'm not deep into it to really talk about, because I don't read a lot of webtoons outside of comedy webcomics I can find practically everywhere. Oh yeah, Litterbox Comics has their Kickstarter going for their animated series, so that's pretty nice of them to get that done. So I'll probably drop in $5, when I actually get paid at my job. a lot of I guess modern day webcomics. There's a lot of different like ways to tackle that. Of course, it's difficult to really stand out because you have so many other options to do these things. Because of course, you have video and you basically have TikTok. You could just if you're making an anime GIF, why not just make it an actual animation in general? Why not make your own Super Mario Bros. Z, but with your OCs and blackjack and hookers? Like do stuff like that. You could just rock that. But of course, animation's also one of those. But also, animation is still like indie animation. There hasn't been a better time to be an indie animator than now. Of course, it's probably the worst possible time to be an animator, like an actual mainstream animator, since things are just getting canceled for tax reasons. So all that work ends up getting thrown into the toilet. But in terms of being an indie animator, it seems like there's this, I guess, I don't know if I could call it a golden age, because I feel like the initial flux of Newgrounds animation kind of felt that way to me. It felt more like that. Probably the age of animators able to actually monetizing their animation, maybe I don't know. Yeah, with everything happening with AI as well, it's not the best time to join the industry, but indies are thriving. Oh yeah, indies are doing much better than they could, and of course, obviously, you gotta support them. Go to their Patreons, all that stuff, and it is what it is with that. So figuring that stuff out, and I have been finding some interesting indies like Digital Circus. I'm liking. Hazbin Hotel is pretty alright. It's not as bad as I keep hearing. Like I keep hearing like everyone like thinks Hazbin Hotel's garbage, and I'm kind of like, I'm watching this and it looks competent, so I'm not seeing what the problem is with this. And I know I hear people are like, oh, I have issues with all the swearing. I'm kind of like, okay, is that it? Or you being some kind of fucking grammar poo-poo person about it because, like, oh, they're saying fuck more often than not. I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever. I'm glad that it's actually being made instead of people like just sitting around doing nothing with their lives, shit talking people who actually make things instead of making stuff on their own. So I have more respect for that than anything else. So I mean, good on them for actually putting skin in the game, so to speak. So I want to be among that, and of course, I want to create my own thing as well, and I am doing that, or at least for the most part. Let's see. Yeah, surprisingly, they didn't have that much swearing on Hazbin Hotel, considering the theme. So they went all out on Hell of a Boss, though. Yeah, maybe they're talking about Hell of a Boss. I've seen 3 episodes of Hell of a Boss, if I remember right. I remember like the last episode I saw, they went to Earth and they were fighting these redneck couple who were like murderers and things like that. I think that's the last one I remember. So I probably, there's probably a whole bunch I haven't caught up to, which is funny because I could catch up to it. I mean, YouTube, I could watch YouTube on my phone, like. Instead of like blowing time like listening to music, I could at least put it in the background. But it's like, I don't want to do that. I want to at least watch it. I like taking time to actually watch media sometimes instead of, I guess, listening to it. I mean, some YouTube videos, they're like you know, you got podcasts and video essays and things like that that you can just listen to in the background. But if it's like a show with a narrative, like, I am more willing to watch that, you know, face to face and stuff like that. And same with like I'd say same with honestly same with anime. Like, these days, if I'm watching an anime, I would rather actually watch it face to face and put it in the background. Especially since a lot of animes in Japanese, so I still need to read the subtitles and stuff like that. Of course, I could watch it dubbed, and I do try to watch it dubbed when I can, and then I'll be able to listen to it in the background. But usually, when it's, you know, when it's dubbed, it's slightly delayed. I mean, they have been getting better at getting dubs like nearly at the same time, but still not as perfect as, I guess, for my personal time. Where it's like, okay, it's still not faster than me just reading the manga. It's one of those things. So, yeah, watching anime is kind of interesting. I've been watching both the original Trigun and Trigun Stampede. It's been pretty nice. I've been liking both of them. Trigun Stampede's interesting because it's actually going into the plot of Trigun and not doing all the filler stuff that made the old Trigun great. It's weird. It's kind of like, what do you like out of Trigun? Do you like the actual story of Trigun? Then you'll watch Stampede. But if you like the wacky shenanigans that happen, then watch the original. Like, a lot of people say, oh, don't watch all the filler. It's boring. It's like, no. Sometimes those in-between episodes can be fun in themselves. Like, seeing those alternate character interactions and different character situations is stuff that I realize that I actually miss out of, I guess, stuff that I kind of miss out of shows is that you don't really have little opportunities for characters to just hang out and mess around. Now, I think it's the same old problem on platforms where the fan base made so much noise before it released that pissed people off and everyone's hanging on. You're right, actually. You're right. That makes more sense. That makes more sense because hyperboles where everyone will exaggerate this as the greatest freaking the greatest thing since sliced bread, or the greatest anime of all time, the GOATs, or whatever it is. And it's like, okay, that's cool. And then you have like power scalers and shit like that. It's kind of like, oh, but can this guy beat Goku and yada yada? It's kind of like, yeah, but what's the actual like plot and struggles of this character? You know, I mean, it's cool that, you know, you're thinking about superpowers and things like that, but how do the characters use those powers? It's kind of it's tough. And writing wise, I get it. It's tough to actually think about that because, you know, you actually need to spend time exploring who those characters are really. And I try my best to at least write down what a character's thesis statement is when it comes to, you know, what they're about and who they are as people. And it's tough. You're basically answering questions that, you know, make characters fairly vulnerable. Of course, obviously you want characters to be vulnerable, to be relatable, but of course, because characters are usually created by, or at least in my case, me, you're also exploring your own vulnerability as a writer. And you're kind of like saying, okay, what do you fear? Well, it's probably what I fear. And kind of like trying to like figure that stuff out when it comes to that kind of thing. So it can be an emotional roller coaster to, you know, talk about when it comes to figuring out the characterization and how on earth you're going to convey that characterization. Because, let's see. Alright, so far the feathers are looking good. I would probably have a slightly smoother feather. This could probably be smoother. I could probably make an in here. Yeah, people end up spilling a lot of their motivations too when writing characters. Yeah, it's tough because obviously the big line is show don't tell. But of course, it's difficult to actually be like, all right, so how do these characters interact with their lives, and how do you show what these characters believe without being cheeky and shit like that? Because people tend to bitch and moan when you get preachy, but it's kind of like, shit happens, and we exist in a society, and these characters, if you're actually world building, also exist in society. So how do these characters react to living in a society? Like, a lot of people like to cry about politics and world building, and well, not world building, but politics and issues and modern day shit. And it's kind of like, yeah, but that is kind of part of world building. You do need to think about that. You can't just leave it as a nothing thing, because otherwise you just have characters in a setting just doing nothing. They're not really doing much, and what they do in their lives doesn't really impact anyone or anything. They're kind of just there doing whatever the hell they want, and it doesn't matter. It's one of those things where they're just there to be there. So that's kind of just one of those dumb bugbears I do remember with just design. Designing stuff and figuring out how to make what's basically a whole other world. And oh yeah, politics is always a great tool to justify motivations. That can also justify character design. A character's clothing choices can be justified by, how much money do they actually have? Do they care about fashion? Do they have a job? Okay, do they have a job uniform? So that kind of stuff can also affect it. And if you're actually bothering to think about that, you would at least keep that in mind, or at least keep it written into your either your folder where you'll have all your writing down, your character writing and your setting writing and your world building writing and sequence stuff. One big notable pro tip is to write fucking everything. Try to write all the time, and obviously try to get yourself to write sequences, of course, try to write character interactions. But even if it's an idea, try to put it on something, whether it's a sticky note or a little manila envelope or a index card. Put it someplace where you can find it. A Google Doc, your notes app on your phone. Just find a way to record it somewhere. You could even use your voice recorder to talk about it with your voice and things. And that will get you to actually, you'll be able to, you'll have it there, so if it does sound stupid and cringe, you will at least be able to edit it, or you'll be able to either research something more accurate. So, where it's kind of okay, you're probably sitting in your car, and you're getting a podcast, you'll have an interesting topic about, what would be an interesting topic? uh, weaving of the African Bana people. I think that's what it's called. So, they'll have that. And so you're kind of like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. I'll write it down someplace. And you do write it down, where either you'll voice record it, or you'll have you'll stop at a gas station. You'll scribble it down in like a pocket notebook. I have a pocket sketchbook myself. So that's basically how I'm able to get a lot of character designs, is I have a pocket sketchbook. So whenever I'm on the road or I'm doing stuff, I have my pocket sketchbook. I scribble down an interesting idea for a character design, and I'll at least have that character design in the back pocket. So if I do want to elaborate more on them, I'm able to at least go off of that. That's always good. And that's also good illustration advice. Keep a pocket notebook, because that way you'll focus on composition piece instead of trying to think of a whole ass painting, and you're trying to paint a giant ass painting and you don't know where the heck to start because you didn't take time to thumbnail. So yeah, always take it out of your head, put it in a physical digital medium, and that way you'll have something to work with. So I also remember a lot of notable writing advice being that you can't edit a draft that doesn't exist. So that's also another thing to motivate you to say, hey, write garbage, because you can edit it later. If it's a crappy lore thing, you can revise it either on the next book or on a different thing where you know what tack to do, or you can retcon to something clever and things like that. Actual proper pro writing advice, with that is basically write all the damn time, because you can edit later. And that's also just pretty good. And honestly, it's good to just write on physical paper. I know I said, taking phone stuff, but if you can do it, I would recommend to put on paper, because I feel like it's more calming. You're not distracted by either your phone motivation or the screen glow, or you're not feeling, I guess it hits different when you're typing versus writing with a pen or a pencil and things like that. I feel like I remember stuff better, or I'm taking better notes because I'm writing it physically. And of course, you'll also end up teaching yourself, okay, how do you do shorthand? You're going back to school. Well, actually, no, you're not really going back to school, but you're kind of teaching yourself to think and convey information through the notebook. You're trying to figure out a simple way to explain a complicated thing to yourself, because once you're able to do that to yourself, you can just explain it to another person, no problem. And that's why you do things like shorthand, or you'll draw a little doodle up saying, okay, this is what the character's supposed to look like here, or this is what the scene looks like in my head, where you're making a small doodle. And man, if my webcam was working, you could see my hand just floating around and whipping about. I can only do this so much. I feel like we have this deeply anchored instinct to do things with our hands. It's always more relaxing. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's half the reason why I am more interested in working on art physically than working digital most times, because I'd rather just be in my bed sketching and relaxing and stuff like that. I don't have to turn on my tablet and my computer. I lost my tablet a while ago, so I don't have a tablet. I just have my Cintiq, and that's all I got for digital art. And that's how I do it. I used to have Procreate, and that didn't. I lost my iPad back in last November, so that's my digital art stuff with doing Procreate. I just fell off because I lost my iPad. It was right before Procreate Dreams came out, so I'm so mad that I lost it. It's one of those things where I remember I had it at my local library. I remember actually drawing in it, but then I don't remember exactly where the last time I had it. I checked my local library again. I looked through the area. There's nowhere to be found. I asked the help desks, but they have not seen it. So if somebody found it, they probably sold it for parts. So I'm probably never going to see that iPad ever again. I didn't even have my Find My iPad stuff on because I just didn't want any more Apple bullshit clogging my life. So it's one of those things where I might get another iPad much later down the line, but I'm so dejected from getting another iPad. Plus, I really just don't want to spend more money on getting something that I'm kind of not extremely hot on working in, really. I still have my physical notebooks. I'm not chomping at the bit to work digitally that much. So I'll probably just wait until either I upgrade my actual desktop and actually get it to run better. Because that's also another thing that most people never remember when it comes to digital art is having a decently performing machine makes a way larger difference than you think. If you can make sure that your machine, has enough RAM, has a decent GPU, your brushes won't lag, so you can actually paint like you would normally, where you can use a large brush and you can actually fill in washes instead of just using the paint tool. It's just so mechanical and boring, and I just don't want to do it. And I think that also just makes a giant difference with that, because using brushes, and it's actually performs enough where it's more one-to-one with your movement. A better performing computer will also lead to your tablet responding to your mouse movements better, or not mouse movements, but your pen movements better, because it's not lagging at all. So that's one thing that I'm kind of just noticing whenever I whenever I try out painting programs on higher end machines. I start to notice that, where I realize, oh, I should have a better machine, because it's it actually makes a giant difference. Okay. This should work. And gain a very slight amount of time on actions you do 1,000 times, so it stacks up. Oh yeah. Obviously, shortcut stuff is much faster because you don't have to. It doesn't it isn't hindered by your keyboard inputs and things like that. The pro gamers had it right. Actually having a good performing machine with actual FPS, actual good frame rates, does make a difference to actual performance. This looks right. This looks a little bandy. Let's break this up. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. Oh yeah, I still need to do this. Yeah, I get this little gemstone here. So let's get the jingle in right here, because let's get that down. What's its color? This. Get that down. Yeah, you gain a slight amount of actions. Yeah. Okay. Now let's Alright, so we'll have you still. Have this still. I do need to move the hair. That could be a thing that I would need to do. Push this up. It's more. Good. It's kind of weird because I should be able to just remember which. Okay. Put you here. Should be good. Should be good. Fill out the outline. And I believe this was actually a moving thing here. Put you down as a little gemstone here. How was that gemstone looking? Okay, I was looking at this. Then there we are. Yes, okay, so far so good. Probably not just up, make it more manageable. Well, not manageable, but this, get a little band here. Honestly, let's go back. We work this band like this. Alright now, because it looks better when it's thinner. So, probably just get rid of this in favor of just adding a thing like this. This could work. Because this is supposed to be a bit of the, because this is supposed to be this. So, probably use this as a shine to here. That should. Let's see. Okay. Alright, let's unlink this. Put you here. Okay, like there. It's kind of like becoming a blur. But I'll deal with that as I go. started to become a bit of a jumbled mess. But it should look okay. This should actually go this way. I turn. Maybe one overshoot. Unlink. Have a bit of an overshoot. Nothing's wrong with having some overshoot here. Maybe like that should work. It's difficult to do a diamond shaped thing like this because it looks like it's growing. I think I could make this work. Alright, how's it looking? Looks like it's growing. I feel like this should be up. This should be down. Yes, this looks more consistent. Feel like this grows. You know what? Let's nudge you up. I think I goofed with this. Now the eye's also kind of like all over the place. Ah, I know what's wrong. This eye is actually still part of the portrait. Okay. I know what I need. Okay. I'm taking a lot, but the actual eye layer. What happened? What did I do? Okay. I was like, what the hell did I... Okay. Think I know what I did. Okay. Think I know what went wrong. Ooh. Put that back. This could say the same. Okay. And I'm kind of just going nuts where it's like, oh, I'm just in Ultra Instinct mode where I'm just problem solving. Alright. So far, so good. So far, so good. I gotta take a break for a bit, stand up, and also turn on my lights because it's dark in my room right now, so I will be right back.
Now his hair reminds me of Blanca's. How did Blanca's sprite get done? Let's look at it. It actually looks like crap. It doesn't look that good, actually. And you could even, if you're just learning, you could always, if you're just learning, you can, if it's a little too tough, you can always just focus on one body part at a time and do the other body parts and other layers. And, that's totally okay. There's no one way to do an animation.
Alright. Gamble. Okay. Oh yes, this creepy crap's right here. This creepy ass rabbit that I found. Alright. Back. Yeah, it's a nice guide. I'll probably post it on the... Let's actually just get to work. I need to start getting to work. I'm playing a bunch of Sonic music right now, and I'm just messing about, which is ironic because I'm working on what's basically a Game Boy game, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, I can't work on a Game Boy game. What am I? Some kind of non-Game Boy player? Like, nah, fuck it. Just play whatever's in. And that's how you do it.
His hair reminds me of Blanca's. How did Blanca's sprite get done? Let's look at it. It actually looks like crap. It doesn't look that good, actually. And you could even, if you're just learning, you could always, if you're just learning, you can, if it's a little too tough, you can always just focus on one body part at a time and do the other body parts in other layers. And, that's totally okay. There's no one way to do an animation.
Alright. Gamble. Okay. Oh yes, this creepy crap's right here. This creepy ass rabbit that I found. Alright. Back. Yeah, it's a nice guide. I'll probably post it on the... Let's actually just get to work. I need to start getting to work. I'm playing a bunch of Sonic music right now, and I'm just messing about, which is ironic because I'm working on what's basically a Game Boy game, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, I can't work on a Game Boy game. What am I? Some kind of non-Game Boy player? Like, nah, fuck it. Just play whatever's in the... And that's how you do it.
Yeah, his hair reminds me of Blanca's. How did Blanca's sprite get done? Let's look at it. It actually looks like crap. It doesn't look that good, actually.
And I'm back. And my webcam just flat off. Yeah, let's just... You know what? I'll just... so you can just see the actual rest of my UI. Yeah, once again the webcam just flat out sucks. Let's see. Big selfie. Still nothing, just a blank screen. I can live with this. But yeah, there's a promo for Black Mask. That is the game that I've been working on for the past 4 years. Been doing that, and yeah, it's a treasure hunting game. This is really early footage of it. The new footage is still completely different, so I've been tackling that. Oh yeah, all the info for Black Mask is right there on the link tree. Of course, I still need to update it to be something remotely interesting, because most of the Black Mask news is really just, hey, we're working on it, and we've been working on it for 4 years, and we don't have anything significant to show that's new. And it's the enemy AI is slightly working and not working. So we're figuring that stuff out as we go, and Adam is the one who's making that actually work. I mean, I am, being the lore builder of it. Plus, obviously I'm offering commissions. I'm actually not offering commissions yet since I'm currently working on a commission. So these are my current prices of commissions. You can get a large animate for $80 and a handmade icon for $40. So that's a lot of notable commission stuff that I've been up to, and of course you're watching this stream doing commissions. So that's what I've been up to. But currently my slots are filled up, so I'm gonna basically indicate whenever I'm open next time. So gotta be doing that another time and getting that done. Getting this done, and so far, I mean, it's been alright. Yeah, when I find a day job, I'll commission you. Yeah, thank you. Oh yeah, obviously don't commission me if you need rent. You need to pay your rent because you live in a society. Alright, so that's not what it is. Why is it completely different? Okay. I can probably fill this with color. Oh. Fill you with actual color. Fill this with a color so we all know what it's supposed to look like. So far, so good. I don't like how much it's transformed, so I'm gonna see if I can't adjust this portrait a bit more. Okay, gonna do some tightening of the colors here. Rework out your line, so they're actually interesting and what. Okay. And that should be good. Okay, probably nudge you down. Nudge you down further than it curves. That should be. Right. See you till you're here. Push this so it's consistent with this. Should look good. Alright, there's a little. Okay. It's good. Good. Okay. This is looking better. This exactly. Like looking at this reference, it's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be one piece, it's supposed to be two-piece thing. So I probably would need this part. Work it more of a curve instead. That, and that should be more of a curve like this, and that should be good. Okay. Yeah, right now it's a little tight, but I have stability. Oh. Okay, this is supposed to be. So. I'm noticing that this shrinks. I should put it a little further up. That should look okay. this would be further higher. Yeah, it's difficult to do turns because yeah, I'm kind of just losing track because I'm just now just in personal Ultra Instinct. Just want to get into kind of just edging because this is me trying to just ponder this difficult avatar. This is actually turned out a little harder to do than I expected. But honestly, I'm making it work because it's an elaborate move that I don't normally do. Usually I'll do more just simpler talking stuff, and this one is more of an actual head turn. So that can be a real challenge with that. But at least I'm doing it. At least I'm making things happen. Just get rid of that. Okay. Kind of shrinks, so. Lower. Okay. Okay. So far, so good with you. Okay. Things are starting to work better. Okay. I just get this. Yeah, I just want to play Chrono Trigger again. Do I even have time to play Chrono Trigger? I probably could play Chrono Trigger. I'll play Chrono Trigger. Every time I listen to Chrono Trigger movement, like, I should play Chrono Trigger again. Chrono Trigger was a great game. I should play it again. Of course, I never do that because I don't want to deal with figuring out how to get my emulators working. Stretch. What time is it? 8:11. Time is currently 8:11. I don't like how much it shrinks. It shrinks so much, it's driving me nuts. Like, this is massively shrunken. I can't grow it that easy. Feel like I messed up. Fine, did you mess up? Make you larger. Be a larger. What happened to the... damn it. The eyes vanished. Okay, good. Let's see. Okay. Alright, it's looking slightly more consistent. It's difficult to determine. Feel kind of tired though. Still feel like that top part just shrinks a lot. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna make... Alright, what's it look like? Motherfucker. I drew on the wrong fucking layer. I love it when I draw on the wrong layer. Makes a lot of work difficult to determine. Yep. Gotta get what a pain to keister. I think my biggest mistake was coloring this. Or at least coloring and shading this before I was ready to animate. Yeah, this shrinks a lot. I should move it. Right. Okay. Brace this. Get the face consistent. Because this is going to be held frames, got decent looking. Oh no. This. It still shrinks. Like it shrinks and grows. That's what's. I think that's the perspective hitting. I don't know. Doing it. Oh. What? That's shrinking. Oh. Like. Yeah, a lot of creativity is also sitting around and pondering some stuff. You're kind of thinking, alright, what's actually working? Or you'll close your eyes and kind of like wonder, okay, what's done at the moment? So I'm kind of just taking a moment to like figure out what the heck I'm at. Okay. I thought I would all I'd be doing today is just adding the feathers, but I'm still just far off. I think I'll just focus on cleaning this up. Let's focus on cleaning this up at least before 9, because I'm gonna wrap the stream around 9. And this is a hell of a music track to be listening to at the moment, because this is the point in the I guess investigation where you are really your brain. Didn't I hear this already? I think I heard this song before. This playlist. Oh, wait. Let's focus on cleaning this up. Then it all will come together. Let's get the broad shape down. Don't worry about the tiny details that may or may not matter. Yeah, also. No reason. Yeah, this looks a little stiff. Fuck. Once again, I drawn the wrong layer, and there's a thing that I can't edit. Else didn't go. That's the cool thing about painting in multiple layers. On the one hand, it's more convenient, but on the other hand, it feels slower. I think that's also another issue when it comes to, I guess, drawing digitally is while you do have the convenience of, having multiple layers, it kind of feels like it kind of complicates your head a bit, where you end up getting word over stuff that is more generally insignificant, because, like, if you were drawing on paper, you just paint over it, or you would put, like, you would cut and paste it, or you would add, like, an actual thing to it. Like, you would add either a piece of paper to cover it up, or you would just use that mistake as your thing. I usually lock layers to make sure I only do the right one. Yeah, that's true. I should lock layers to make sure that I only ping on this one. It would be a better workflow, for sure. But then when you're switching layers, you gotta remember to unlock and then relock the layers, and it's like, now you're kind of just doing even more brain stuff. It's weird digital art stuff that you end up not really putting together until you feel kind of miserable. I don't know. Yeah, that's extra work. Oh yeah, it is extra work. And you think, oh yeah, that's the extra work will be worth it, and it's true. I mean, it does solve the problem of, oh, I'm paying on the wrong layer. But I think intuitively, it just feels more of a pain in the butt because now it's another thing you gotta think about instead of being in ultra instinct drawing mode. The shrinks. God, dude, sit there like that. So it's not shrinking. This isn't shrinking. I'll only save you. Okay. Alright, you know what? I think this is the best I can do it. I'm feeling kind of tired though. Let's see. What's left is to clean up this, add the actual face paint thing, and oh yeah, the necklace. Still gotta add it. That's a lot of detail that I've completely forgotten, but I'll get that down sooner or later. I can't say that I am nearly done with this. It's just all that's left is polishing. Because yeah, all that's left is just polishing a lot of the lines, and I should be fine. They like work the hair a bit. But other than that, should be fine. I'm feeling a little tired, so I think I'm just gonna wrap this stream for now. Yeah. I know I said I was gonna stop at 9, but I'm feeling hella tired. And I got work tomorrow early in the morning, so that's probably it. So I will be streaming next week. I don't know which day. Usually I will try to stream on a weekend because it's just more convenient. I stream in the morning to afternoon when I'm actually lucid and not groggy from work. So I'll see you all next time. Master Fan Art Stream. And follow me on social media when I actually posted this commission actually online. Should be done sooner or later. It's one of those things. So yeah, I will see you all next time. Have a good night.